In this chapter, students are introduced to the various Internet and World Wide Web concepts. The student learns about the Internet, its history, the World Wide Web, the difference between the Internet and the World Wide Web, and the various applications of the web. They will also be introduced to some new web concepts like wikis and blogs. What is the Internet? The Internet is a worldwide collection of computer networks cooperating with each other to exchange data using a common software standard. Through telephone wires and satellite links, or even using wireless technologies, Internet users can share information in a variety of forms. The Internet is a network of networks connecting all countries of the world. The networks are made of different kinds of computers which are connected to each other via cable or satellite. These machines transmit huge amount of information between them. The Internet consists of many independent networks. Computer hosts, that is, the servers, routers and switches, leased phone lines, satellite and radio connections, cable connections, and wireless connections. History of the Internet. Many people think that the Internet is a recent innovation, when in fact, the essence of it has been around for over a quarter century. 1960s. The Internet started in the 1960s in the U.S. Department of Defense, which projected to create a nationwide computer network that would continue to function even if a large portion of it were destroyed in a natural disaster. Researchers were investigating the possibility of connecting computers to share information and programs from anywhere. In 1969, the first such physical network was developed by the ARPA, Advanced Research Projects Agency. The network interconnected 4 computers in 4 different universities in the United States and was known as the ARPANet. In the following years, it grew as more computers and more networks were added to the initial network. 1970s, as the ARPANet grew, the need for a reliable service was felt, and to cater for that, a protocol was required. The protocol, called Network Control Protocol, NCP, was developed, and it would maintain effective communication between the different machines and take care of problems like jamming, interference, and loss of data. Users could now begin developing applications. Web-based electronic mail was also developed. A few years later, an improved protocol called TCP/IP was developed to allow computers and different kinds of network to communicate with each other. In 1976, the term Internet was introduced. 1980s. In the 1980s, TCP/IP became the protocol on the Internet. During the 1980s, computer sellers began to sell desktop computers equipped with networking software, and companies started to become interested with the Internet. At the end of the 1980s, the first worm was released on the Internet, causing concern on privacy and security on the Internet. Terms like cracker and hacker were created. 1990s. In the 1990s, the World Wide Web was invented. It changed the way information was presented and accessed on the Internet. Web browsers were invented to access web pages. In 1997, all countries of the world were connected to the Internet. 2000s. In the 2000s, there has been an explosion in the use of wireless devices, such as mobile phones and PDAs, and therefore, the World Wide Web had to change to cater for these users as well. The World Wide Web is a very large set of interlinked hypertext documents accessed via the Internet. It is a series of web pages connected to each other via hyperlinks. With a web browser, one can view web pages that may contain text, images, videos, and other multimedia, and navigate between them using hyperlinks. Closely related to the World Wide Web are the terms hypertext, hyperlinks, and hypermedia. These are the ability to have web pages containing links, which are text, or buttons, or graphics, on a web page on which you can click your mouse button to retrieve another document from the web into your computer. This document also contains further links that the user can click on, hence navigating or browsing the World Wide Web. This demo is to illustrate how a search can be conducted on the web. The user has been entering the search engine, which is the www.google.com. The search subject to be conducted is about the Internet, which has been entered by the user. This demo shows that with the web browser, one can view web pages that may contain text, images, videos, and other multimedia, and navigate between them using hyperlinks. Thus, the user has a list of hyperlinks to click on to jump from one page to another to have access to a wide variety of information. How does the World Wide Web work? The World Wide Web is based on the client-server model. There is a web server and a client. A web server is a host computer with web server software installed on it, and it stores and shares files over the Internet. A web client, on the other hand, is a computer with client software installed on it, and it makes requests to the web server. In the client-server model, for example, a web browser is a client program at the user computer that may access information at any web server in the world. A client program sends a request to a server program. If it relates to some kind of information that need be fetched, then the web server will forward the request to the database server to retrieve the information. The database server will accept the request, then fulfill the request, and send a response, which the web server will do same to the client. The server and client programs can be found on the same machine, but most of the time they are found on two separate machines. A website is a collection of web pages linked to each other via hyperlinks. Each website has a unique address that identifies it. Uniform Resource Locator (URL) is an address that identifies an individual file on the Internet. It is analogical to a phone number. It is an addressing scheme used by World Wide Web browsers to locate resources on the Internet. The URL consists of 4 elements. The protocol. HTTP specifies the protocol that is being used. Examples of Internet protocols are HTTP, used for web pages, and FTP, used for files, movies, music files, programs, etc. The domain name of the server. The server is the computer where the website is hosted on the Internet. The path. The path is the folder or directory on the server in which the web page is found. The file. The file is the web page that the client is trying to access. The example of a URL has been described. Here, the HTTP is the protocol. The www.uom.ac.u is the domain name of the server. However, the path directory is faculties and info, and finally, the file to be accessed is index.asp. IP address.